What to do the world? It's your boy, Angel of I Is. And of course, I is here to give you a message because shout out to Black Ram. This is therapeutic. But, of course, we're going to give all praises to the Most High. And, of course, give an acknowledgement to the earthly mother and the sun. Now, what do we see here on the screen? Well, this be what we call a grand kite, where the reds connect. So you see where Mercury is to the south node, that red dot in the square in the middle. South node to Saturn with that square in the middle. Saturn to Uranus with that square in the middle. And Uranus right back to Mercury. Now, the beauty and the reason why I'm specifically looking at this day is because there's a stage to be set. There are certain things building up. There's a lot of things in anticipation, getting ready to get going. And this is the stage to set. Isn't it perfect in Leo season too? Because Mercury, which is in Leo, squaring or opposing, my apologies, Saturn in Aquarius retrograde. So now you got the eyes of the people on you. So this is a time where you kind of want to be calm and cool and collective when it comes to the battles that you choose moving forward. Because a lot of this energy is dealing with the past. Past things popping up. Past memories popping up. Certain angers popping up. Well, the stage is set. If you still haven't dealt with that, then the stage is primed for it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen on the 30th. This is just setting everything up. The way you handled certain things in the past may not be a good idea to handle them now today. You dig? So that's where that grand trine that's in the middle is to counteract all the heat that's coming outside of the heat that we're already experiencing now. So that's kind of the cool down point, especially with Venus in Cancer, where it's feeling the home vibe basically. So this is where, like, if you're in something that you're not comfortable with, you are gonna leave it. You're gonna bounce. You're just gonna drop it midway through. All right. This is where a lot of people get ghosted, but that's understanding because it's summer. People only stick around for X amount of time, and then we get into Virgo season, and that's when you decide to start cuffing motherfuckers. So we have that going on right now. And all this stage that's being set is priming for what's coming Monday, which I'll show you on the next screen, which is Uranus, Mars, and the North Node conjuncting. All right? And the reason why that's a big thing is because if you see the weather, because that's what that controls, it's also destiny, so fated. There's a lot of fated situations happening right now, and there's a lot of fixed energy with this grand kite, because you have a lot of this energy in Taurus, which is a fixed energy, Leo, which is a fixed energy, Scorpio, which is a fixed energy, and Aquarius, which is a fixed energy. So there's a lot of fixations, a lot of stubbornness, a lot of just not willing to change, budge, move, or just stay in the same position. That's where this is. This is the energy that it is. That's why people feel fixated right now in whatever situation that you may be in. You feel like that's for you. This is why you're staying in this position. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all could be wishing for a new job, but you're not putting any action towards getting one because you're staying fixated in the position that you're in. So you want to get yourself up out of that rut. Some of y'all can't move on to different partnerships because you're still holding on to your partnerships of the past, because either you haven't dealt with it or you haven't let any of that animosity or just feelings go in general. Things may have abruptly ended on something, and things like that are just up in the air now. You see? So what we want to do is kind of tamper that expectations coming forward, because there's a lot of opportunities, because that's the whole point of the grand trine, because that is a gift. That is God's gift. So a lot of this traumatic issues that may come about within these next, because this is a 15-year cycle. So within these next 15 years, this is what it's going to be. So you really want to be careful and delicate with the choices that you make moving forward, because this is literally life and death. Okay? You don't want to burn bridges that you know you're going to have to cross back over here real soon. I'm talking as soon as, the end of next week. I'm going to have to be backtracking because, again, there's a lot of fixed energy. So there's going to be a lot of stubbornness, people that are not willing to change their ways or are just too comfortable in their ways and don't see any other outlet of that. And again, that's where this Venus and Cancer is on, is giving you that energy and allowing you to start slowly prying that energy off of you. But you got to be accepting of that. You can't be stubborn of it. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Because there's gonna be a lot of rebelliousness that goes on with this. A lot of people are going to be rebellious about this fact. So that's what's so important about this stage, literally right here, happening on July 30th. So again, do be careful when it comes to your emotions, issues, just anything. Try not to blow up because smaller things can grow 10 times bigger before you even know it, right? So what we have here is the North Node, Uranus, and Mars in Taurus. Now, what does Taurus deal with? That's your value. That's your money. That's your food. That is your, the way you value yourself. The way, you kind of show yourself out to society. How you spend your money, how you control your money, how you deal with the planet, because it's the earth sign, so it's dealing with earth energies too. And so with Uranus, Mars, and the North Node all in there conjuncting, this is the spark to all these changes, which we've already seen a majority of them. You have temperature, heat going on in Europe, which they've never seen before. You have floodings going on in St. Louis right now. We're in the heart of the summer. You have record heats all around the country. You have inflation going up, spiking on up right there with the Mars, right? That's that fire. You're watching your money burn. Higher gas prices, higher food costs. For even that matter, you're seeing that food plants, okay, like, where you get your meats and all those processing plants have just burnt down. Since last year, actually just this year alone, in April, around Taurus season, there was 24 food plants burnt down. Now, the big thing about the flooding in St. Louis is a lot of those areas were farmlands that were being flooded. So again, you're not going to see the drought in food really take place until next year, maybe creeping into 2024. So that's going to take time. Again, a lot of these things, just because this transit is happening now, doesn't mean that it's going to happen tomorrow. Doesn't mean it's going to happen on Monday. You've already been progressively seeing this. Now you're just seeing the full spark of it going into transition, and things are going to move really, really fast. All right? You have Jupiter stationing retrograde in Aries, about to go back into Pisces. So everything that you saw up to this point this year is just a glimpse of what's going to happen next year. All right. And another crazy thing that's happening, Miss Pelosi is heading down to Taiwan, who is looking to pretty much, get Taiwan to rejoin with China. And because China is not trying to relinquish that style of control and Taiwan is trying to become a sovereign nation, America is backing them. They've already been told, America, you need to stay out. Okay, well, Nancy Pelosi's taking a trip down there, I believe today. And she has a stellium, shout out to the peace dealer, in Taurus with these exact placements. So you can't tell me that her going down there, because she was supposed to go there last year and caught COVID, but this year she seems to be healthy enough to go down there. So if you don't think that's going to spark something, then I don't know what to tell you. All right, war has been imminent since 2020, and you're gonna see more and more and more obvious evidence. Though people wanted to decline all that stuff, as above, so below. What's happening up top is happening down here. So with all these energies together, boom, there's your spark. And like I said, the stage is set for this. The stage is set. It's already set. The energies have been rising. They're at their boiling point at this point. So again, this is where you're going to see a lot of this aggression, a lot of this energy, a lot of fast changes, a lot of sporadic changes, explosions. You're going to see fires. I mean, this is going to be very hectic. But this is not to fear you. This is only to prepare you. Understand that. There is a preparation to this. I was definitely going to go a lot longer on this, but I figured 12 minutes and 51 seconds was just enough to kind of get the gist and understanding. Because like I said, a lot of this stuff you've already seen, so now you're kind of understanding what this energy and this transit is actually bringing. If you've been a little bit more agitated lately, that's a lot of the reasons why. Because there's a lot of fixed energy. There's a lot of people just staying in the same mindset and not planning on shifting any of it. So that's probably something you can work on. Unless you have Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, or Aquarian energy within, especially because Uranus is ran by Aquarius. So they're definitely going to feel it twice as hard. And it's in Taurus. So you Scorpios are going to feel it twice as hard because this is going to break everybody out of their comfort zone. That is pretty much what this energy is about to do. So again, while everybody think that life is going to go back to normal, hence comfort zone, yeah, that's going to be shooken up here really fast if it hasn't already shooken up for you already. So this is where, again, I say the choices that you make moving forward has some pretty detrimental consequences to them. So you at least want to keep yourself positive and understanding what's going on and know that you're only human. So if you fall victim into any of this, just, at least hopefully you can catch yourself in time to not escalate anything more than it needs to be. Because that's what this energy is calling upon. And because people are so fixed right now, anything can happen because they'll be stuck in that mode. So the last time this transit happened was within the 1800s. 1857, 58, roughly where it started. And then it obviously progressed down. So what you see on your screen at this moment, feel free and pause and read whichever ones you need to, are going to kind of show you the directions of where things are about to be heading. And some of these things you have already seen pop up, especially like the Fugitive Act, the Compromise of 1850, Dred Scott decision. And of course, the Dred Scott decision, which was obviously a big turning point in history, which has obviously been misinterpreted because if you talk to anybody else, you would think that was the decision that allowed white people and black people to marry each other, when, as you can see and read, all it was a white man dying who owned a slave, whom thought he was free, but the deceased of, the slave master, the deceased, was obviously just trying to own a slave. That's what that was. Had nothing to do with marriage. And then so you got to look at what we're looking at now when it comes to the abortion thing that's just popping out. And then you have Clarence Thomas talking about taking away, those kind of rights, interracial marriages taking place. He's trying to dead those types of things. So again, there's nothing new under the sun. And as you can see, they're trying to revoke all those rights to begin with. So again, do a little bit of your history. I may have been a little bit off with the timing of, but it was within the 1850s and down. Because again, you got to remember, it's a 15-year cycle. These are just some of the things that happened during that time. So Feel free to do your history. Just look up last time Mars was conjuncted in the north node with Uranus, and then just read from there, and you can find out a lot of this history of things, so you can kind of understand, or at least get like a little bit of a clue of what's coming back around in the state that we are today. So in conclusion, even though I know earlier you heard me in the video say it was only going to be 12 minutes, but if you follow me on Snapchat, you know that I can't do these things very shortly. But nonetheless, in conclusion, the stage is set. Taurus deals with stability. It's kind of the one thing I forgot to mention in the beginning of all this, because that's the main important part, is stability. And with Uranus in Taurus, you won't see any of that stability for at least the next 4 years. So what you're seeing shaking up Uranus in there with Mars, the Lord of Action, War, what you're going to see is this battle of trying to get back to stability. Because as we know nowadays, life ain't what it's not going back to what it is. Granted, there's people in fixation to that, and you know, you have certain energies that are opposing a lot of that. So it's really prepping the mind of the people to understand what's about to happen. The thing is people don't want to understand what's about to happen. They want to assume things are going normal, though if you go around the world, you can see nothing is really normal. At least what we consider normal. It's no longer that. So this is what we have to start prepping our mind for. And of course, I could have gone even further because I did have some other notes, but I decided to freestyle the rest of this because I wanted to express a lot of this stuff from the heart. And because, you know, that's just what the Lord gave me. Yeah, for as much of the a-hole as I can be, I still got a lot of love for the people, especially because I'm a progressive Aquarius. And if any of this energy, if any of this stuff that you hear, you want to know how it's going to affect your chart, by all means, hit the comments. You can hit my email. You can get a hold of me, and I can help you figure out how this is going to affect you. Okay, because for me, a lot of this energy is in my 8th house, and believe me, I've seen my partnership shake up. I guess the beauty of it is that, like, I'm roommated with a Taurus, and he's about stability, so that helps us. But he's a Taurus, and I'm a Libra rising, so, you know, we know how to make that shit balance. But nonetheless, you know, that's just a small thing with instability that we have to understand and come into grasp with. And of course, there's a lot of fixed nature that is still going around, so hence why we have not progressed the way that we should. It looks like we're moving backwards as opposed to moving forward, but that's America. Other countries are trying to move forward, like the BRICS, but that's a whole nother conversation that I'm not trying to get onto with here. For as far as right now is the energies. And like I said, this deals with a lot of stability, and there's going to be a lot of shakeup amongst that. Especially when Saturn goes into Pisces by next year. This is where Saturn, higher authorities, are now diving into Pisces, which deals with your beliefs really taking shape on what you think may be true and what will be true. All right, with Jupiter going back into there, going to be conjuncting Neptune, is going to expand all this. So by 2024, you'll know what you're in. By 2024, you'll know the decisions that you made. By 2024, you will understand the mistakes that you made, if you're alive to see them. Because once Pluto goes into Aquarius by next year, all bets are off. But like I said, this is not to fear you. This is to get you prepared and to get you to understand. Get your circle in order. All right? Don't let the people that you just now meeting deter you or distract you from where you should be going. Because again, there's a lot of stubbornness in here. You know what you're supposed to be doing, but you're not doing it because you'd rather be distracted by everything else around you that does not matter. Okay? Okay. Giving all praises to the Most High Yahweh. Of course, giving acknowledgement to the earthly mother. And of course, the sun, because there's nothing new underneath it. And this is nothing but an experience that we're going to be lucky to live through until the next day. Until then, peace.